Welcome to Fondy Famous. I'm your host, Kelly Northley. Today's feature is sponsored by Steve Ward's Builders, and today we're here with Tanya of ADVOCAP, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what you guys do here. Are you ready to get started?
Yeah, so ADVOCAP is a nonprofit organization. We are a 501c3 organization. We're a community action agency. We've been in existence since 1966. So next year we'll be celebrating our 60th anniversary, which I'm super excited about that. We've been around doing different things for low-income people, working side by side with low-income people, getting them to self-sufficiency. Right in our mission, we're about creating opportunities for low-income people to become self-sufficient. So that could mean something different for every individual. It just depends where they're at in their life.
What does it look like for an individual who needs to work with you to work with you?
Well, it's different for everybody. So everybody's needs are different. Maybe an individual needs housing. Maybe they need a job. Maybe they just need additional skills to get a better paying job. A lot of individuals are homeless right now. We're seeing a lot of that, especially with our seniors, our disabled individuals, where they just don't have enough income to pay for the expenses that they have.
Right.
So yeah, it could mean different things for different people.
Okay. And how about volunteers? How can volunteers contribute to that?
Yeah, so we actually run a volunteer services program where individuals over the age of 55 can volunteer. We organize that and get our volunteers into different nonprofit organizations like a food pantry in the schools where they need it the most, helping with children, just reading to them and whatever. So we integrate our volunteers into the community that way. ADVOCAP could use volunteers as well, specifically in our opportunity center. We could have individuals make meals or donate items, money, clothing, stuff like that to help our low-income people. When they come in, we can help them with items.
Okay. What are the needs of items that you're seeing the most of right now?
Well, right now, because it's winter, we need warm things like sleeping bags, coats, mittens, hats, boots. If you think about having to weather the weather without housing or anything to keep you safe, it's cold. And that can be taxing on people. So any kind of warm weather clothing and hand warmers, hygiene items, anything like that.
I saw Hope on the Block, I think it was, that posted, but the rechargeable hand warmers were a good option.
I saw that. I think that's a great way. They're experimenting with them right now to see if they are durable and last. I think that's a great idea.
Right.
I love their creativity that they have in trying to help low-income people. Yeah.
Yep. So you guys said that you've been around for 60 years, huh?
Yes.
In what area have you guys been serving in that time? What areas?
So we have programs that I think come and go at times, but some of our staple programs are Head Start. We've been running the Head Start program in Fond du Lac County since 1971.
And what is Head Start for people who don't know?
Yeah, so Head Start is, a lot of people think of it as like a school for 3 and 4-year-olds. But it's more than just education for the 3 and 4-year-olds. It's family development and those wraparound services for the entire family. So if I have mom and dad and we look at trying to stabilize them, getting them a better paying job, getting them the skills that they need for a better paying job. If we stabilize the family, then the children's education will come come behind it and blossom behind it. So it's kind of the whole family approach. But obviously the education piece is important also for our 3 and 4 year olds, to get them stable, to get them to be good students and be aware of themselves as they head into kindergarten.
Yep. It's a fun age too.
Oh my gosh, they are so amazing.
The questions they ask though.
Yeah, well, they're honest.
Yeah, they are. My son's 4, and so we're getting all the
Oh yeah,
all the
so you know
questions and
firsthand.
whatnot.
Yeah, they're great.
Yep. So now, with and related to childcare, you guys said that you have an incubator program. It's not here, but it's in Oshkosh, and you'd love to see it maybe here someday.
Yeah, so I've been working on this project for almost 3 years now. Getting the funding to build the childcare incubator has been more cumbersome than what I thought it would be, but we're getting there. We finally are putting all the funding pieces together. So we'll be building a building in Oshkosh that will house incubators. And if you think of like a hairdresser, right? They have their own space in a salon, and then they rent that space and they have their own clients and they sell their own products. It's kind of like that. So we're creating small businesses, home-based businesses. So in-home childcare rules. So let's say I'm a stay-at-home mom and I have a child. I can't put the child in daycare because it's too expensive. But what if I want to provide childcare for other people, but I rent? So now I can't have licensed childcare in my home, so I don't have the opportunity to provide licensed childcare. The incubator space would be replicated like a small home, and now I could create my own business, start my own business, and now I can provide childcare in this space that I run from ADVOCAP, and now I can open up licensed childcare slots.
Okay.
So it's a different way of creating childcare, licensed childcare opportunities for people without starting a big center.
Right. And childcare is like a huge need right now.
It's huge, yes. Yeah. And so what we would like to do is then really work with those incubator businesses, just like any other business incubator, grow them, give them the confidence and the skill set that they need to then go out and launch their own childcare center.
Okay, so opening essentially a daycare, childcare
Yes.
center of their own.
Yes.
Yep. That would be incredible to see and watch.
Yeah, so it's the first kind, and it's in the nation.
Okay.
Right here, it'll be in Oshkosh. But the really cool thing is we can replicate it in other areas. So I'd love to build one here in Fond du Lac. Signature Homes and Excel Engineering have been helping me with this project. They have been amazing partners, and they would like to see this project come to Fond du Lac as well. So it's been exciting, it's been challenging, it's been exhausting, but it's going to be so worth it once we get it up and running.
Absolutely. We'll have to chat when that comes out.
Yeah.
And see what we can do there.
Yeah.
Now, you guys said that you have some other things going on. One of the organizations that you're building that you had just opened or added to?
So that's the Opportunity Center.
Okay.
We opened that about a year ago at our Fond du Lac building. It's located on the corner of 1st Street and Macy Street. So 19 West 1st Street.
It's the old post office, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
It is such a cool building. It's like rock solid. But yeah, in the back, we used to have our Head Start classrooms back there, and when we moved them out of the Fond du Lac building into Sacred Heart School, that created some open spaces, and we held on to that for a while until I think the right opportunity came along, and that was the Opportunity Center. When the city decided to make camping illegal, people
camping for homeless people.
For homeless people. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yes, camping for homeless individuals illegal. They had nowhere to go.
Right.
So the Opportunity Center gives them that safe place to come in, get warm in the winter specifically. But then we can also work with them on their barriers to self-sufficiency. So just creating those opportunities for them to become self-sufficient one day.
Right. And you said some of those barriers are like skills or maybe a pay gap. And even childcare, of course.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
can
and
you touch
I
on
mean,
some of
even
those?
simpler barriers like our homeless population, they don't have an address.
Right.
So we created mailboxes for them. So then now they can have their mail sent to ADVOCAP. They have their own mailbox. And now they have some sense of identity.
Yep.
They have like a place that they can have things delivered. And
Are you guys by chance using like the old post office boxes
no,
too?
but
Okay.
that would be actually kind of cool,
Yeah.
right? So it's kind of full circle
Yeah.
having the post office boxes back into the old post office.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
But even just like some barriers of not having a cell phone. Like, so if you think of it, like if you need to submit a job application, you need an address on that job application. You need a phone so that they can contact you. You need an email so that you can get things through email. So just simple things I think that we just take for granted are barriers for low income people to getting a job, getting the skills, getting a place to live.
Do you guys have computers on site then?
We do.
Okay.
Yep.
So can they do their job interviews on that computer then?
Yep, absolutely. We help them with resume building, applications, things just like I was actually helping my husband apply for Social Security the other day, and he was having difficulty, like, because he's not very techy, and I'm like, that's another barrier for low income people. Like, they just don't have that kind of tech savvy.
Yeah.
You know, and like he had to do a login.gov and he had to have his picture taken on his phone.
In his defense, the .gov is always, it's always something to do with
right.
it.
So, I mean, you know, that's a barrier that I think oftentimes we don't think of.
Right.
Of, you know, we hear a lot of, well, why don't they just get a job? Well, there's a lot of barriers sometimes to getting a job.
Right.
And it has to be a good paying job or it's still not going to be enough. A lot of our homeless people, they have jobs. I'd like to squash some of those, you know, misconceptions of low-income people and our homeless population. We're seeing a lot of seniors. They're on Social Security income. That's all they have. And it's just not enough for them to afford a place to live.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think, and this answer if you feel comfortable, what do you think is the long-term solution for that? Like, the opportunity center is obviously going to be one of them, but what do you think would help the most?
So in my mind, when I think about squashing poverty and getting our community stable, it's going to take our entire community to invest in that. And I've always said that if we can get our most vulnerable population stable, our entire community will see stabilization. You'll see crime go down. You'll see drug use go down. You'll see alcoholism go down. You'll see violence go down. And a lot of that is mental health. People have a lot of mental health issues that just are not addressed. And if it's not addressed, then they're not going to be stable. And if it's not addressed, they're going to turn to alcohol or drug abuse. And that's not a low income problem. That's an any income problem. People just don't have the support system, the mental health system that they need to be able to overcome those things. So I think it's going to take us as a community to decide, like, yeah, we want to invest in this community. We want to invest in stabilizing this community. And until that happens, we're just going to kind of be in this cycle.
Right. But you guys are doing quite a bit to at least try to help and overcome.
Yeah, I mean, it's person by person. Everybody that comes in, we'll try to help them create those opportunities. And I mean, we don't just give people things.
Right.
They have to be willing to put in the work and work towards that, right? So like, if we're like, so we're looking at developing on-site mental health in our ADVOCAP office. One thing we find with our low-income population is that there's barriers to get to a mental health appointment. So we're trying to reduce some of those barriers and give them the opportunity to get mental health right in our building. So it'll be a nice warm handoff to get those services. So that's creating an opportunity for them.
Right.
So then that will give them a better opportunity to maybe not rely on drugs or alcohol or resort to other things, in the community. So
That they'll
that'll,
have someone to talk to and work through and overcome those
and
things.
there's a lot of trust issues out there with them. They've had to go through things that maybe you and I have never had to go through. And for us to say, well, they should just stop, I mean, that's easier to say than actually do. So.
Right. What is one thing that you would love for people to take away in learning about ADVOCAP and what you do?
I think I'd love for people to understand, like I said before, like we work with people kind of arm in arm. We develop that trusting relationship so that low income people have somebody that they can talk to and believe in, and we give them that hope that they need to keep moving forward, to keep working towards self-sufficiency. So I think oftentimes people think that the federal government programs are handouts.
Right.
They're free handouts, and they're taking advantage of the system, and it's not like that at all. They have to work very hard, and oftentimes more hard than we do, because we have some luxuries that they don't have. Transportation, for instance, like if I was a single mom without any transportation, and if you think about how I'd have to go across, get my child to school, then get myself back on a bus and go to work, and then go back and then get grocery on a bus.
Yeah.
Like those are things that you and I don't really have to think about because we have our own vehicles. So, I think if we could just step back a minute and just think about the barriers that our low income people have to go through, and just kind of think through those processes without being so quick to judge, would be helpful for our community, and taking that first step in stabilizing our most vulnerable population.
Right. Thinking about where they're at and where they're coming from before judging.
Yeah.
Yep. Easier said than done.
It is.
But yes.
It is. So I think if anything, that's what I've been trying to do with our community, is just getting to people to really kind of just take a step back and think about that for a second. It's not just, oh, they're lazy, they need to go get a job. It's more than that. There's barriers that they have to overcome to go get that job.
Right. And you were even saying in that example of the single mom taking the bus, like the amount of time that I'm sure that adds to her day, and the toll that takes too.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And then if, the baby has a poopy diaper and you got to stop and change the diaper, now you just missed the bus.
Right.
So there's just things that we don't, as just people that have advantages that others don't, just kind of take for granted.
Right. Well, thank you for being on. Is there anything else that you'd like to add at all?
No, I mean, I just thank you so much for this opportunity. I think just, being here and getting the word out about and advocating for, ADVOCAP stands for Advocacy Community Action Program. So just advocating for the population that we serve is so important to me, because I so truly care about the people we serve. So thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for everything you guys do for the community. It's incredible, and I'm glad to hear about it. If people are looking to find you or connect with you, where would they go?
We have a beautiful website. It's www.advocap.org.
Not gov.
Not gov. Org.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
thank you, Kelly.
Being on.